Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today we're chopping down the food forest. Another beautiful September day, up over 80 degrees. We have the ducklings swimming in the pond with Sedgwick chaperoning. Our little ones. Getting all the algae? Good. They are just coming into their adult feathers. Their fluffy little duckling feathers are on their final stages. Still fluffy though. Duckling. But we have a hole in the tarp on the greenhouse, and oh, the geyser. Gorgeous. Huh, Sedgwick? But there's a hole in the tarp on the geyser, and they are actually calling for, believe it or not, a little bit of rain later today. And just in case that actually happens, there's a few things I want to get done before any rain comes. We need to get a tarp on the greenhouse that doesn't have any holes in it, and we also need to get some topsoil spread out on the ditch line going down to the vegetable garden. Now, me and my dad are digging out a new duck pond expansion out here in the field, and that process has already started. And most of the pond expansion is going to be on my other channel, Whitt Acres Homestead, because this is the pond for Mumbles and the ducks. But we started staging some of the rocks that I've saved out there by the pond where we're going to be digging. We also started breaking ground out there, taking some topsoil off where we're going to need the space. So if you want to see that pond expansion, make sure to subscribe to my other channel, Whitt Acres Homestead, and get everything coming out here from Whitt Acres. But since we started doing some digging out there, we got some fresh topsoil that I'm able to use in some other places that have some low spots from the ditch line sinking, from the water line and the electric that we sent up to the barn and the other gardens. So there's a few things we need to get done, and I already got started. So I'm going to throw you back, get you all caught up, and then we're going to head over to the food forest and reclaim the food forest from the weeds. The food forest needs some deforestation. Huh, Sedgwick? Don't eat all my pond plants, girl. I guess it's about time to open the gates for the birds too. So you guys get caught up, and then I'll meet you out at the food forest. Hump pop. We gotta let the tarp dry before we put it on the greenhouse. We'll be right back. Alright, we are out here at the overgrown food forest. The food forest out here is what I call in progress. We have some berry bushes in here, actually a few different varieties, and a couple different fruit trees. I had more fruit trees, but some of them didn't make it. There is a wisteria vine in here and some azaleas on the other side I want to make sure I don't chop down. But other than that, for the most part, this is all weeds. And I'm sure it's been an amazing habitat for the rabbits this year. Echo Pup has been trying to hunt them, but this is a pretty good hiding spot for them. I'm sure the food forest has contributed to multiple litters of rabbits this year. And some other animals, especially the moles. We actually have some blackberries coming in right now too. What you doing, pup? Just an airplane, bud. Oh no, that is a bird. Good eye. Somewhere out there. He saw it. Oh, it's over there now. Big bird coming in. Looks like a turkey vulture. Shouldn't bother my birds. But there have been some hawks swooping around, so good boy, pup. Keep your eyes up. Good boy. But there's another reason I need to come in here and cut down the food forest, not just to manage the weeds, but part of the duck pond expansion, we're going to be scraping off a lot of sod that we need a place to put it. And this end of the food forest here is pretty much empty. We should be able to get a pile put right in here out of the way. And then that's going to sit all winter and we'll be able to break it up into good topsoil in the spring. But as you can see, I got my long sleeves on right now because this is pretty tall stuff. And I got my wellies on too because a lot of this stuff is prickly. Huh, pup? You going to help? You're just going to sit in the shade. Alright, you do you. But we have a lot to chop down here, so I'm going to throw up the GoPro and hopefully I don't hit anything important. Huh, pup? All right, that is looking clear. We're about halfway across the food forest right now. We're just plowing through it with the metal blade here. It's getting all the thick stuff chopped down. After I get it chopped down, I think I'm gonna pull it all to the center. But before we get into all that, I'm gonna take a break, get a drink, and we're gonna recuperate before we do this next half. Pop. I hear you, rooster. Is that my hawk chicken? I was looking for her. I was trying to get everybody closed up early inside the halfling hut so I don't have to catch them out of the trees tonight, and I was missing a chicken. Did she jump into this pen? Hey girl, let me help you. You don't need these boys chasing you over here. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. 7. Let me see 7. 2, 4. Oh, okay, there. Okay, this is my half chicken. Come here, girl. Gate's open. Let's get you home. Head around, girl. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on, we gotta get you out this gate. Nobody else, just hawk bait. Come here, girl. Where do you keep going off to? I gotta keep all these other chickens in. Come on, hawk bait. Come on. I know it seems so simple. Just walk towards the box all the other chickens are in, but no. Oh, don't do this to me. I have the gate open for you. Why are you going to them? Work with me, hawkbait. See? See, they're chasing you, girl. Come to me. I'll be nice to you. Come on over here. Get her over here, boys. Oh, chicken catch cam. Whoa, whoa, hey, I got her outside the fence. All right, pup, that's a start. We can work with that. Get the gate closed, keep the other 8 in. Come here, halfling. Just have to catch one tonight. Hang on, girl, everybody's inside for the night. Hold on, come on. Oh, Echo Pup, you gotta be like a wall, bud. Let's get your gate open. Come here, hawkbait. It's always you outside the fence. All right, don't be a wall right now. I gotta get her past you. There you go, go inside. There we go. Just have one chicken to catch. All right, you hang out in there. I'll be back. Pup, we need a drink. We'll be right back. Nice. Got a massive toad in here. Hey buddy, not trying to bother you. You just go about your business, bud. I'll keep an eye on you. I don't want to chop you up. Hump up, big old toad. Wonder where you guys go during the day. All right, Toad, your home's gonna be a little bit different now. You're gonna have to find a place to sleep tonight. But you're out of danger. You'll be safe now. I'm moving on over here. Huh, Pop? Got a lot of volunteers in here. I had to stop for dinner, having brisket, hard-boiled eggs, garlic pickles, and some sauerkraut. Huh, Pop? You want a treat? Good. Now I see you, Pop. I gotta eat dinner. Alright, we got the food forest completely chopped down, everything but the berry bushes and the fruit trees. But we still have some cleanup to do. However, it is time to close up the barn, and we might actually get some rain here in a little bit. So I'm gonna bring it back tomorrow, and we're gonna continue this food forest cleanup. Was that lightning back there? Uh-oh, the storm might be going north. Are we gonna get any rain or not? Who knows, Pop? Come on. Works to do. Everybody ready for bed? Nice. Good boy. All right, we got the food forest back. I also got all the birds out at the pond, getting cleaned up and refreshed. Come on, bulls. Doing goats. I see you two. You guys want a treat? I can get you a treat. I hear you, rooster. How you doing, ladies? Staying in the shade? Rufio, keep it tight. Huh, pup. I think we're pretty much done here in the food forest. We got it cleaned up and we got it edged all the way around to the yard. So I started off with a weed whacker because I thought the 1/4 inch of rain we just got might make the ground a little bit too muddy for the edger. But as you saw, we went right around with the edger and it was still powdery, dry dirt. We got just enough rain to wet the topsoil that we got spread the other day. Thanks, rooster. Hawkbait, are you out again? Hawkbait, hoo-ha-ha. I'll get you back in, girl. But we got the food forest cleaned up here, looking a lot better. And now we have a spot we can put all the topsoil that we're going to be scraping off for the duck pond expansion. I'm just going to be piling it up right here on top of this weed pile. So as long as the weather's good enough this weekend, my dad's going to be stripping off some more topsoil for the pond expansion. He's going to bring some of it over here and just stack it right on top of this weed pile. And the clumpy sod will sit all winter long and it'll be a lot easier to spread in the spring. But actually the pond expansion is going to be pretty big. So once we get all the sod off, there might be enough topsoil to use in all the different places that I want to use it. And the sod actually might just be extra. But things are always developing here, so having a pile of topsoil here is not going to be a bad idea. Hump pup, just like the pile of mulch, it'll get used. Now we do have a goji berry here I made sure not to cut down, but it doesn't look like the berries actually formed fully this year. We might have been too dry and it just stunted out. But I made sure not to cut that down. We'll see what it does next year. But I also have my grandpa's peony over here on the corner, and I can cut that foliage off, but I just left that up for now so I have my dad not drive over it with the backhoe. I want him to come between the goji berry and the peony and just come right in here and dump it on the weed pile. I have plans for this ring out here, so I don't want to drive on it too much with the backhoe, but we also have this milkweed that I tried not to cut down so it can actually disperse its seeds. This is something that the monarch butterfly likes to have. I did actually knock one open, but hopefully these seeds are ready to go. Big hairy seed. And these can just pop open and start flying around here. Maybe we can get some weeds that actually are good for the environment. And this is a pretty cool looking seed pod too. But I made sure to leave that one go so it can disperse its seeds around. I also have a couple blueberry bushes in here. I had 5 originally, but only 2 made it. After that, we have the wisteria vine that I do want to get a trellis for, but I just got it in the ground so it can start growing, and you can see it is growing. It's definitely looking for a place to climb on now. After that, we have a hedge of berries. We have blackberries in here, we have red raspberries in the back, some fall gold raspberries as well, and then after that, I believe we have the black raspberries over here. And I think this end actually has some red raspberries too. I didn't get many of those this year. But as you can see, we have a volunteer cherry tree right here, and we have a volunteer oak tree right here. And I do love me some volunteers, and since the food forest has thick mulch in it, it's a favored place for the chipmunks and squirrels to put their nuts. It's also a seed collection trap. All the weeds had seeds growing in the mulch. But I am just going to continue layering wood chips in here, trying to build the soil quality. As you can tell from the duck pond, whenever I dig a hole, it fills with water. So we have really heavy clay here in my area. Pup. So I've been adding compost and wood chips to the food forest for a few years now, trying to build the soil quality. How'd you get your head all dirty? You were rolling around in that topsoil. Ah, puppy, you just got a bath yesterday. Why did you go and do that? You silly pup. I wouldn't be smiling. You know you're gonna have to get the hose again. You silly pup. But we have some berries in here, and we have a few other volunteers, like this 6 or 7, maybe even 8 foot tall oak tree we're gonna have to scoop out with the backhoe. I might be able to get the shovel around it. But we also have this 6 footer over here we want to take and move around the property. I have a location I want to put this in. There's 2 really nice ones and this walnut tree over here. I think it's a walnut. I hope it, oh, almost fell. We also had a lot of jagger bushes shooting across here with their vines. And look, we have another 2-foot oak tree I tried not to chop down. My brother also wants a lot of oak trees for his property, so I've been trying to save all the volunteers I can get. But I gotta be careful because there's a lot of poison ivy in here too. I left this one privet here just in case because it is a good size. I might be able to find a place for it. But right here we have a walnut or a sumac. How do we tell? How do we tell if this is a walnut or a sumac? Does it have 11 leaves or 7? Oh, it has like 15. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. You distracted me, rooster. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. I don't think that matters. That's too many leaves. Is this a walnut or a sumac? It's kind of a soft bark. I left it there because I'm hoping it's a walnut and I'll be able to move it somewhere around the property. But if it's a sumac, I'm just gonna have to try and get the whole root system out. We don't really want that taken over here in the food forest either, even though it does attract the bluebirds. How you doing, pup? You still itchy? Did you get in the grass and start cleaning yourself off? Oh, good boy. You almost got it all off. You might not get the hose, maybe just the toweling. But I left some other privets in here in case I want to make a hedge of privets. I got some volunteers here, probably 4 good ones. And this is what makes me worried it's sumac, because there's another one right here. So is this sumac or is this just another walnut tree? I'm not sure of any of my neighbors with a walnut tree. I wonder where they'd be getting the walnuts. Good job, rooster. There's a volunteer raspberry bush here I left. We have a couple more privets. I might probably just take those ones out. And I did actually see a volunteer asparagus in here. So we're just getting volunteer food happening now. That's what I was going for, just getting the food forest going, and then maybe I can come in here and manicure it later. But we have another volunteer oak tree over here, a nice 3-footer. Made sure not to cut that one down, and this one. I'm glad I saw this one. Hard to see in all that thick weeds, but we have a little 1-footer right here. And then this one is actually a shingle bark oak. I left it for now, but we probably will just cut that one down. Oh, there's another one over here. Another little oak. So I tried to save as many of the volunteer oak trees as I could, but we got it pretty much cleaned up over here. Just piled everything in one spot. I'll let that break down for a while. We might burn that whenever it dries out. It has too many seeds in it to go to the compost. You tell them, pup. Protect those birds. Good boy. See, I'd really like to grow it up here in the food forest. You can see it'd be a nice little sitting area. Just got to get some trees in the right spot, maybe a nice flowery hedge. Could be a nice spot in here with fresh food and invasive bugs. Spotted lanternfly. You tell that bird, pup. Flying too low. No hunting zone. But we are past mid-September, so I'd consider this about fall, and I am not seeing any berries here. I was hoping I'd get some fall gold berries, but we might have been too dry this year, honestly. It probably isn't this massive maple tree taking all the sun away from it. That's probably not the berries problem. I had some poor planning whenever I positioned some of these things, so I am going to have to move some of these berries to a more sunnier spot. But that is part of it. I only bought like 1 each of these, and now whenever I get everything where they need to be, I'll have multiple of each to move. Huh, Pop? You excited too? Keep those birds safe. Good boy. There's actually a lot of trees I have here on the property that I just want to get relocated in different places, and I'd really like to do that before the ground freezes here this winter. I can get some of them in out there in the south garden, but I think we need to wait until the pond is fully dug and all the ground is graded around it before we get the rest in. But my dad needed a place to put the topsoil that he's going to be scraping off this weekend, so the food forest project got pushed up the list. And I'm kind of glad it did, because it's looking pretty good over here now instead of just all tall weeds with the thistle seed blowing around like a snowstorm. And I got it all re-edged here, so next time whenever I go around with a weed whacker, I can make that nice and crisp. Now, of course I want an orchard, and I really need to get some fruit trees. I'm hoping I can find some on sale here in the fall. But right now we only have 2 fruit trees here in the food forest. This is a bonfire patio peach, and I don't see any fruit on it right now. I thought it was a late fruiter. I was thinking we were going to get something here in the fall. But the deer did eat it down here, so it might be recuperating this year. Might have to wait another year on this. But you really do want to wait about 4 years before you start harvesting fruit off a fruit tree. But I think I need to come in here in the fall and do some pruning. Especially over here with the nectarine. We do have 2 ewes here. I'm growing these up. Hopefully they're going to connect one day and then I can actually shape them into something. But we're just letting those grow for now. The nectarine has done enough growing. It actually did have some fruit on it this year, but I didn't get any off of it. Most of it did get taken by the bugs. But as you can see, this has grown pretty tall. I got this out of a Tractor Supply bag. I planted it probably 5 years, maybe 6 years ago now, and it has done really well. I haven't ever gotten a nectarine off of it though. Thanks, Rooster. It has produced some though. So I think I also need to come in here to the nectarine tree and cut it back to a manageable size, because it's really hard to harvest things 15 feet high. So if we can get this pruned back here in the fall, maybe it can produce some fruit that I'll actually be able to manage. Maybe I can actually spray something on it to keep the bugs off, or even net it to keep the birds off. And if I get it smaller, I think I'll get a better bloom out of it too, because the pink blossoms are just gorgeous in the spring. And we have another volunteer oak tree right underneath the nectarine we got to get out. But we obviously need some more food items here in the food forest, but we also need some flowering things to bring in the pollinators. And over here I was planning on an azalea hedge. We actually moved some old azaleas we used to have on the island garden. Thanks, Rooster. We moved those over here and they really haven't been doing too well. We had 4 of them planted here, but I think we only have 2 alive now. So eventually I do want to get that side filled up with a nice azalea hedge, which is going to be blooming early spring, and it's going to bring in the pollinators to all the blooms on the fruit trees and the fruit bushes in the early spring as well. Now I hear you, bud. Oh, all the Echo! Eyes up! All the chickens ran. Big bird. Big bird in the sky. Alright, it's not a hawk. Should be good, pup. I really don't want him to differentiate between a hawk and a turkey vulture. Any big bird I want him to go chase off. Even a Canadian goose. All the chickens ran underneath the empress tree. Perfect. Just what it's there for. But I saw the chicken reaction. I didn't even have to look in the sky. I knew there was a big bird up there. I just had to tell Echo. He'll take care of it. Come, pup. Good boy. Gotta keep those birds safe. Good boy, pup. But I think things are looking good out here for now. Next step would be to prune back the fruit trees and cut back some of these berry bushes. We actually still have this one producing. Might get some more blackberries this fall. But I'm thinking the berry bushes here might need to be cut back heavily so we can try and get a handle on them for next year. And a trellis for the wisteria. Good job, Rooster. There's some projects over here. I also want to build a trellis for the berry bushes so they're not reaching out into the yard whenever I'm mowing. That is annoying to go past those because they are jaggers too. But we need to take one step at a time, and I think this was a pretty big step. And now the birds have some more ground to forage. Go ahead, I'm not trying to bother you. Alright, Hawkbait, let's get you back inside. You all stay inside, don't come out. I gotta get the gate open for Hawkbait. Come on over here, girl, you know the drill. Get on that side, then I can open the gate. You can walk in. Keep everybody else in. Don't go too far. Ooh-ah. Oh, you missed it. Izzy, get back in there. Come on now, everybody stay. Be a leader, boys. Look at that. Look at that. Disaster. Get back inside. Get back inside, Izzy. You boy. Come on, Izzy. Get. We're not having any runaways today. Hump up. Good boy chasing off those birds. Why are you laying here in the mud? This is the only muddy place we have and you're sitting here in the mud just rolling around right after your bath yesterday? Puppy. Alright. Alright, that is going to be all for this one. We made a pretty big step here in cleaning up the gardens for winter. If you want to keep following along here at Whitt Acres, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit that like button before you leave and you can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching. Good boy.